boom, boom. Here we are. We are live, Poodle fam. Wow. Yeah, I know. We've got it. This is just me. This is live show stuff. We are back. I am here. I think we're streaming. We've got everything going. I'm on the road still. So last week I'm in Vegas. This week I'm in Anaheim. I just did a keynote address. And then I just got off a webinar that ended at the top of the hour. Now trying to find a nice place, and I think you get beautiful background music for me. And hey, how's it going, everyone? Next week I'm going to be doing this live from Spain, and then the week after that I'll be doing it live from Portugal. And the week after that I think I'm actually home, and then I'm back in Vegas. So I think I need to work on getting a nice remote setup. I think, I'm going to probably need to invest in that, because this is going all over. And at least we're not doing a Zoom this week, so therefore I will not have to worry about the complete disaster that that last week was. So good, everybody. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. And maybe I will have a live guest in Portugal. How great would that be, huh? Hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, I know. And oh my gosh, everybody. So today, like I said, I'm actually in between speaking sessions, but you know what it is? 49 weeks in a row, and I cannot miss a week. It's just, I can't do it. I've had to do 3 pre-records. We know that I've had to do that in the past, but I count them. I release them at the time, but I cannot miss a week. Next week, number 50 from Spain. So that's going to be pretty rad. So here's the deal, everybody. I actually spoke today and did a keynote address this morning at a conference, and I represented what I spoke about to the United Nations a few weeks ago, and hopefully that I'm waiting for I should have in the next 2 weeks permission to release that, so that hopefully you'll enjoy it. But I spoke it again, and it really got me thinking as I was presenting this, and I was preparing my week, and what it really means. What I spoke on was kind of how to tell a story, and what I started looking at was our Telegram, and I started seeing all the hard work that especially Elle does, there on the Telegram and on Twitter to really push our team to get out there, to shill, to promote the work that Sasha's doing there and the connections. And you see, read those pinned tweets, the partnerships that we are creating as a token. And I then realized that, what is it that we are lacking? And it's a matter of how we go out there and talk about our token. I think you'll get it when I share what I was speaking on, and actually I'm doing a whole session coming up in a month. Yeah, next month. It's I think I'm home for a week and then I go back to Vegas. And I'm actually doing a session on the metaverse, and I'm going to talk about Poodle and kind of tell the story. And I kind of misled you on this title, because I don't want to tell you what to say about Poodle. When we're marketing this and we're talking about what our next steps are and where we're going as a token, I see a lot of times that when we're out there and we're sharing, online, we're listing all the things, the facts, right? We're listing, we have locked liquidity, we have partnerships here, you can use payments, and these are all important. Don't get me wrong, they're absolutely important for the token. But what's even more important is that we talk about how it's important to you. I want to reflect and kind of go back to my original, sorry, the glasses and the reflection were annoying me. I want to go back to episode 1, where I gave the story about my house fire. I gave the story about how the Poodle family are the ones who really gave me that escape. When we're talking about Poodle, what is it? And when you're telling the story to somebody, I encourage you in your next tweet or your next, not just a Telegram. See, if we're on Telegram, it's great, and the Telegram should be active. But let's be honest, it's a lot of us talking to us. While there are lurkers, and there are people who are looking whether or not they should invest, that's a lot of us to us. What we want to do is we want to say is, how is it that we're sharing this outside of us? How are we sharing this to the community? And nothing is a stronger marketing than talking about how it impacts you. For me, let me tell you why I love this, this token. When I tell the Poodle story, I don't list all the stuff about us. I don't list that we have, NFTs and we have 3D, augmented reality. Now they're important. They're the hashtags. But what I do talk about, I talk about how when I was at a time in my life where I needed an escape, where I felt like I lost everything, I didn't know where to go, where to put my money, where to put investment. When you go from having an entire life where you build stuff, where you build, your things, where you have a garage full of junk, where you feel like your identity is in your possessions, and then all of a sudden that disappears and you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how to continue the next day of your life. That's when the Poodle family came about for me. That was when I realized that there was something special about this community who I could come to, escape with, and even if I didn't know anybody, I felt like they invested in me, that they cared about me, that they cared about what we were doing together. That gave me purpose. That's why I started this Poodlecast, because I wanted to just be able to talk about this token that saved me at a time of my life where I needed to be saved. I needed to find something where I could say, I want to invest because I want a bigger future. We all recognized, the alt season, the memecoin thing from last year. We've just celebrated our 1 year birthday last month, which is a huge, huge accomplishment that most tokens never get to. Yet we've survived and we pushed through. That's the story. Is mooning the story? Well, no, it could be. And it will be. But right now, the story of Poodle is movement. It's about how through everything, we're here. It's how when you see other tokens say, we want to partner with you. It's when you see 24-hour, AMAs that say, hey, let's come in together, let's cooperate together, let's now work with one another in order to all be successful. One thing we all look for in life is stability. I know in the crypto space, people say, hey, I want to be able to, I want to invest in something, and what's going to be the next 1000x. Be honest, we don't know what the next 1000x, but I can tell you that there's an opportunity for 1000x for this token. There's no doubt about that. And so as you start to take this, and we're at a very transitional, important point in our token, because right now where we're at is that brink of mass adoption. And we just donated again this week. We got our May donation to Canines for Disabled Kids. We're able to do another 1,500 because we had some great volume going. That changes lives. What people are going to want when things all work out is they're going to want to know that they're with a token and an investment that makes a difference. But here's the thing. How are you, going back to the title of this, how to tell the Poodle story? I'm going to encourage you this. Take a piece of paper and I want you to write down all your top moments with this token. All right? Write down everything that, you remember, everything that you went through, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, the fun, and think about the community. Write your own story. And now put that story in 280 characters. Again, not about features and feature sets, but about change and about impact. And that's how you're going to tell the story. For me, I get excited when I see what we're doing, when I see our collaborations. Because let me tell you something that most people don't see. There is a lot more importance behind the KYC and the collaborations than you don't recognize. A year ago, when we were all having the memecoin generation, the memecoin, whatever it is, phenomenon, everybody was enemies in a way. It was kind of like everybody trying to prove they were better than everybody else. There was a big hatred. You still see hatred on a lot of the other telegrams. But collaboration means trust. If we collaborate with people or people collaborate with us, we are putting trust in those people, others we don't know, who have their own agenda, right? Let's be honest. We are here to build this dog, right? This token. But yet we make great partnerships with other tokens. We want them to be successful as they want us to be successful, and that's trust. How has Poodle built trust in you? Why do you trust it as a token? It's not about the price. It's not about mooning. It's not about features. What is it that makes you sit here and listen to this show? What is it that makes you come, especially if you're watching live or you're listening later? What is it? Why do you visit the Telegram? Why do you follow Poodle on Twitter? It has 130,000 followers. It's one of the largest and one of the very first tokens to actually get verified. Why? Why do you do it? And how can you summarize that? In business, we always talk about an elevator pitch. What's your elevator pitch? If someone says, hey, I'm interested in crypto, why, which one? Can you justify our token in 30 seconds? We've already done the right things in getting up direct buying, right? Where you can skip steps, and we're knocking down the barriers that have traditionally been there for, buying memecoin, especially on binancesmartchain. Can you use a credit card, be able to buy direct? And through all of our exchange partners. Those are big deals, right? But now, if you have 30 seconds in an elevator with somebody wearing your Poodle swag and they ask about it, by the way, the store's now open. Make sure you go buy some Poodle swag. But what would you tell them about it? How do you talk about it? And I'm going to encourage you, and this comes from a sales background, to use emotional stories, right? Everybody has heard from that somebody. The funny thing is everybody knows somebody who made it rich on some token that mooned. But not very many people know somebody. It's always there's this mysterious people out there. But yet there are strong investments that grow over time, and that's exactly what Poodle is, a strong investment that grows over time. And so how can you say how that changed you? If we were, someone said, hey, I got $1,000 and I'm going to buy a meme coin with it, what would you tell them to do and why? And this is where I think what we want to do is talk about impact. When I talk about the Poodle story, and you'll hear this when when on the UN stuff, and I may actually just present it myself too one of these days. I talk about the direction and the future of technology. The direction and future of technology is on the blockchain, right? It is. We already know it. A lot of people aren't always there yet, but yet we're already working on it. And so what I share with people is that, you know, you have two choices in this world after a global pandemic, right? You would never want a global pandemic. It's nothing that we should celebrate, but good came out of it, right? I went through a house fire during a global pandemic. You want to talk about two things you definitely don't want to have at the same time. Yet, with that, I saw a bright light. I saw a token that said, hey, the direction technology is moving in, being in the metaverse, being in augmented virtual reality. I see how it changes global education. And yet we want to take a stand and be able to move and create partnerships to take this token along with that. It is a token that has changed real lives. We've done it with our donations to Canines for Disabled Kids. We will also be able to do it. There is some paperwork coming that we are partnering with some creative labs and esports, and that will be announced soon, to where we can actually utilize our token to create real change. I can't wait to see the day where our poodle dog is, you know, that money that somebody created a collab, or they, monetized their Twitch stream, they did their sport, whatever it is that they did, and they can say, you know what, this is all possible because a group of people a year after they created their token said, I want to use it to move the direction of technology, to move into the future. There's no choice as to whether or not the blockchain will control the world. It's just whether or not you want to fight it or not. It will be there. And the things that we're doing will be leading the way. If you look at the recent partnerships that we've made, I would call it the collaboration of tokens, all with their own vision, all with their own points, all with one common goal, and that's to support one another. That's huge, and I don't think we should look past that, right? That's the story we want to tell. You know, all of a sudden it's getting really busy in this little bar area that I'm here in the Anaheim Marriott. We are no longer a meme coin, right? I even said a few episodes ago that I don't like calling us a project, because a project assumes an end. We are a purpose. We are a direction. We're a family. And we're an investment. We're a long-term investment. And that's huge. As we start to collaborate together and we decide, okay, where are we going? This is where we need you to go out there, and we need every single person in this token to be able to tell what it means to them, right? You know, I always start this show, and I often say the words, you know, my Wednesday therapy session. You know, typically you talk to your therapist about, you know, all the awful things that happened in your childhood and all this stuff. You know, when I come here and I just blabber on for 20 some minutes, which is, you know, I think today's will be 20 some minutes because I gotta go speak again. You know, the reason it's therapy to me is because I feel like I'm talking to family. I feel like I'm talking to a group of people who, if I said, hey, I need help, you're gonna come and help me. And you know, I know it's an interesting way, but it'll be a, hey, how are you doing? I've been watching the chat go on here for a little bit, and Mama, good to see you back. And you know, look at this. If you go back and read the chat, look at the comments. It's good for everybody to be back. We support one another. We are all here because we know that we're better together. How many investments are in your 401k or your portfolio can you say you feel that you are invested in as a person as much as you invest in it financially? Do you realize we treat everybody the same, whether you own 1 poodle, 100 poodle, 1 billion poodles, 1 trillion poodles, you are all equal. And that's a beautiful thing. When we see that we do community voting, when we see that we're willing to change our tokenomics or change our purpose, our direction, and continue moving because of being a community, how many do that? I mean, that is a true community of people, right? That's what makes us special. And that's the story we need to tell. You know, when people ask me what's special about your token, I see you do the Poodlecast. They see me retweet it and stuff, and on the announcements, like, what makes it special? Like, why would I invest in this? And I say, you're not necessarily investing in a meme coin. You're investing in a community. You're investing in a purpose. You're investing in the future of the blockchain. That's a much more powerful story. And then I follow up with, you're investing in a group of people who were strangers, who supported me and said, we care about you, and helped me through something, who didn't even know they were what I was going through. You know, it's interesting because I feel like our Telegram sometimes is like just a big old private chat, right? It's a whole different world, you know. I'm going to be with my wife out in Portugal, and you know, it's interesting because she always wonders what's so strange about like she's like, it's strange how you're always involved in them. You're on the Telegram, you're talking to people you don't even know, and I was like, I keep telling her, like, yeah, I don't know them physically, but boy, do I know them, and they know me, and I have this 100% trust, you know. And when we end up going as a community and we say, hey, I'm willing to KYC myself. I'm here publicly sharing who I am. What does that do for somebody who is also looking for a purpose? You know, I want to tell a story that when the pandemic hit, on March 13th, 2020, when the President of the United States declared a state of emergency. And that's also the same day that we kicked all the students off campus. And hey, we're gonna do a live vid. And here's the thing. We saw how people relied upon services on our college campus, for example. They relied on our Wi-Fi, they relied on the housing, they relied on what we provided to be successful. And often they were quiet, they didn't share it publicly. But once that was taken away, you saw the inequities. We saw how people were impacted in ways we wouldn't have known. Well, when we see people come in and they do their first buy, and the Poodle bot shows that this was the first time they bought, we need to celebrate that. Because that $100 or that $50 or that $1,000 they put in could really be life-changing to them. Because maybe they're not just looking for an investment, maybe they're looking for a community too. So how can we invest in those people? How can we continue to grow the community of one another and not just looking at it as somebody else bought and now that creates a great candle? Now, is that important? Absolutely. What we need to do is celebrate every single time someone says, I want to be part of your family, and share your story. Tell them how this has changed you. I see these familiar faces and these faces that I love seeing here on our on the chat, but it goes beyond that. And what we want to remember is that the next investor could be somebody who just went through a life tragedy. They could be somebody who lost everything. We won't know their story, and they won't share their story until they trust our story. And that's how we find out who people are, how we can help them. We don't know if they're coming because they care about the charity. We don't know if they're coming because they're trying to find an escape. but they have a reason. They have a reason that they said, I'm going to buy this token, I'm going to join this Telegram, I'm going to follow this Twitter account, I'm going to do whatever. Everybody has a reason. We don't know what it is. But I can tell you when they get to know us, they're going to see, wow, everyone has their own purpose for being here. Then they're going to share. That's exactly how we grow this token. That's exactly what we need. It's how we get, you'll see this token change. You will see how we will continue to strengthen this core group, which we have. We've got an awesome core group. But now, as these collaborations are taking off, more eyes are on us. We already know eyes are on us. Every time we start to do a quick bump, and we start to do a quick pump, look at who starts coming out of the weeds. So people are watching. But are they, what can we do to get them to, engage on a regular basis? Here's how they do that. Here's how we do that. We do that by sharing our story, sharing how the token to you changed you and what you're looking out of it. Because people invest in people, they don't necessarily invest in products. Right? It's the same thing on the stock market. You might have a great product, that might be a good thing that people want to jump for. But the fact is, if you don't trust the company itself, you're not going to throw your money there. And that's exactly what the difference is, especially in this early time of blockchain, in this early time in crypto, is people will want to invest when they know who we are and they want to know who you are. Not just as a token, not just as a brand, but as a community behind it. That's what I'm going to encourage you for. This token means more to me, it means more to you. We see it. We see the work being put in. So I encourage you, continue doing it. Tell your story. I have homework for you this week. I already said it. Write down on a notepad, what is your Poodle story? What are the highlights? Find a way to turn that into 280 characters. Tweet it out. Make sure you put it in the, in our Telegram, either in the seals or the main chat. Put it in the main chat too, and share it publicly. That's how we build a community, and I encourage every single one of us to do it. Find your way, your story. Not just why you love the token, not the features, but how it changed you, because we know it did. In some way, some connection, had some impact. What is it? That's my encouragement to you. That's how you tell the Poodle story. And that group together is exactly, I love that idea. Take all these Poodle stories and put it together as an article. That would be awesome. That's how we end up being more successful. So that's my encouragement to you. I encourage you all to do it. Don't just listen to this episode and think, okay, great, and they're going to tag great episode Joe, which it is. We know I did a great episode. I'm just kidding. But what I encourage is actually do it. Write it down. Take time. Think about the impact. Tweet it out. Share the tweet. Let us continue to share. You know how if we all do that, if 10,000 people on a Telegram all did that, imagine what everyone else would think of this token. Imagine the type of respect we would get. Imagine what everyone else watching would think of us, as opposed to, yes, we're the next moon, we're the next 100x, 1000x. No, they're going to see it's a community of people that we love. All right, so that's going to be my week. Live from Spain next week, so we'll see you all. God, I'm loving the chat. I love telling your story, and let's do it. I highly encourage you. Everyone do it. I'm going to do mine. I shared mine. I'm going to do it Twitter-wise. I'm going to share it, and I'll get that doing tonight. So we will see you all, and you have a great week. Love you all, Poodle fam.